Hello and welcome to the Light Reading Telecom Innovator video series. This is a sponsored video series where we're exploring how companies in the global communications industry are evolving. And in doing so, we'll connect you to some of the people, technologies, and ideas that are behind that evolution. My name is Phil Harvey. I'm an editor at Light Reading, and joining me today is a guest from Microsoft. Sylvia Candiani is Microsoft's VP of Telco, Media, and Gaming. Sylvia, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
It's absolutely a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And I guess let's start with introductions. So first, give us a bit of an overview of your own background and your role at Microsoft.
I'm a VP of Telco, Media, and Gaming at Microsoft. It's a worldwide role. I've been a long time at Microsoft, and before that role, I was a CEO in Italy. And before that, before Microsoft, I was at Vodafone for 11 years. So let's say I'm a telco veteran and also a long time at Microsoft. But I'm really happy now to bring those two worlds together and being able to drive the strategy for telco, media, and gaming at Microsoft and helping our customers to thrive.
That's great. Knowing that you're from the telecom side is great, because that helps sort of lead into my next question, which is, kind of an industry assessment. So from your perspective, what kind of opportunities do you see that could be driving the transformation inside the telecom industry today?
Thank you. I do think it's an exciting time for telcos right now, and sometimes we call it a telco renaissance, because I think there has been a long time of lower ROI and return on capital, let's say, but there is now an opportunity with AI to reinvent the business end to end. So I think this is really an opportunity to also gain a central place, a central spot in the value chain, because telcos can reinvent themselves, but also can help be at the heart of the transformation of the entire country in which they operate. For example, they are an incredible facilitator of SMB distribution, or enabling even consumers to get up to speed with AI. So I think in this environment, telcos are the center of transformation, and also with AI, they can sort of jump ahead, because a lot of telcos have considerable tech debt, so they have struggled to innovate and to be modern in their systems. They also have a lot of legacy systems, but with AI, somehow you can overcome this and innovate and on the end-to-end workflows for our customers. And so in a recent studies that we conducted with IDC, for example, we saw that telcos were the industry across all industries that had the highest ROI for innovating with AI. And it's partly because of the relevance of the AI for many of the processes that they operate, that are key to telcos. Let's think only customer care, how important it is for them, what a driver for change it is, but also because they come from a less digitized, a less modern state.
There's quite a lot going on. When I was researching for this interview, I was looking up examples of where companies had increased their use of AI and what the outcomes were and that sort of thing. There was a phrase that came up a few times, and I'd like you to weigh in on it. It's this concept of a frontier firm. So what is a frontier firm, and why are those types of companies important as we're talking about AI transforming the industry?
Yeah, frontier firm means kind of AI native company, and somehow a company that applying AI consistently in every part of the organization, in every process. And I think it speaks to the fact that we've seen in the last year lots of companies testing it and maybe doing POC, use case, but really finding a way to scale it across company. That's where the value acceleration comes. So one of the things that we're talking about is how do you embed AI in every part of the organization, but you do that in a smart way. So maybe having an AI center of excellence as a center that kind of drives the methodology and the landing zone and the approaches that you can use. For example, the ethical AI is also very key, and security is key in this development. So it's centralized. But at the same time, you have a hub and spoke approach. So you have different, all the business units that are kind of finding the right use cases for them and working in collaboration with this center of excellence to deploy them at scale. And so it's a tech transformation, but it's also a cultural transformation and a business transformation, because it requires business people and tech people working together jointly to solve those business issues that are complex and vital for a company to really transform. And what we see is that we now, there are some companies that are really accelerating, and they're at the edge of this transformation. And it's almost like a speed game, right? So those are able to move first and move, in a profound way, end to end, are capturing much higher returns from the transformation. And as I was saying, those frontier firms see a 10x ROI for the AI investment. So it's, let's say, a call to action to really move beyond POC to more structural, and to do it in a way that marries as a tech foundation with the business inside.
Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely, so it affects every part of the company. And like you said, it's not just a POC, a proof of concept that's sort of walled off in a specific part of the company, but everyone in the business understands it, and is actively working in the same direction. I also note too that you mentioned, even though we're talking about the telecom industry, frontier firms can be from any industry. It really just depends on how they've assimilated AI into their operations. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's we're talking about frontier telcos, but also frontier banks. So, but let's say the way you implement it, of course, differs because of the different business processes. There is some commonality across all industries that has to do with the presence of a platform approach, and then let's say the methodology that you can use in terms of scaling AI adoption, and that is common, I would say.
Okay. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask how Microsoft is helping in this matter. So how is Microsoft partnering with telcos to help them become, a different kind of service provider, cloud first and AI powered?
I think the idea is that on one hand, we provide the platform, but then, and so that means that the AI tools, if you want, the Lego blocks that are necessary to deploy those AI services. And by the way, we always talk about AI, but also about data, because AI without data, doesn't go far. But then we look at the different, let's say, business processes to understand what is the outcome that we can achieve, and how can we mobilize different AI use cases in order to deliver the outcome. And so that, for example, we think there are main 4 pillars. One is around customer experience. The second is around business operations, so all the processes that are core to the, let's say, from the back office, finance, HR, and so on. Number 3 is the network, given the importance of the network, both in terms of CapEx but also in terms of real critical infrastructure. We think it's a separate pillar. And finally, it's the B2B sales and growing beyond connectivity, because that's a key element of telcos that want to become end-to-end platform companies and software providers. So how can we help them achieve that goal through AI? So these are the four pillars. And what we see that, for example, in customer experience, we've seen a complete revolution, for example, in the customer care. One example that I always bring forward is Vodafone, because it's been a very important partnership that we signed and that we worked on, where they introduced AI in the call center to really help with the power agent experiences. So they also have almost like a buddy that helps them manage customer queries, but also helping introducing Gen AI in the customer conversation and reducing the number of transfer of calls to the reps, and so increasing the self-service and increasing satisfaction, which is also what we care about, because it's not just digitizing, but making customers angry. It's actually doing the digitization and the self-service with more customer satisfaction. The second element is about the business operation, and we have some examples like, for example, KT, where they really moved in a year entirely to the cloud, and they're using agentic AI to solve some of the business processes, going from HR, the HR assistant to help employees from onboarding to managing your leave, to contract definition, and helping legal to achieve their goals, but also in having agentic AI applied to all the back office processes that are very important in a telco, to streamline them and have almost like a team of agents that work through the different phases of the work. We've seen in the last year a move from Gen AI only to Gen AI and agentic AI, and it's really changing the way we work, almost like having the employee managing a team of agents, each one specializing in specific parts of the project. The third one is the network. And if you think about the network, it's about bringing the level of automation that we already have on the IT side also to the network side. Again, leveraging AI and agents to really make sure that engineers can, be on top of any potential incidents. I mean, of course, try to prevent them in advance, but then once that happens, having a way to go almost towards an autonomous network. So having a network that self-heals, and that also that is able to reduce the time, the downtime from incident to resolution in a short time. And finally, in terms of going beyond the connectivity, we see, for example, the emergence of new services such as AI-enabled security services that now telcos can sell to the SMBs, and we've seen a lot of success in that, for example, with NTT, but also the opportunity that we see to create almost like an agent marketplace, so that telcos can be the agent of digitization and let's say move to an enabler of move to AI for SMBs, so that SMB can get from their trusted partner, the telco, all the AI tools that they need in order to manage their business efficiently. So, I mean, these are just some of the examples and some of the areas that we're working on. And in general, we have, let's say, a foundation, a platform that is made of a co-pilot, which is the interface between the person and all these AI agents. And then this system, the platform that allows to build agents very simply, either with no-code, low-code, so Copilot Studio, or with AI Foundry, which is the more pro-dev of agents. So a good platform, and then working together with the telco business and tech experts to really transform the key processes of a telco.
Yeah, there's a lot of transformation opportunities you've outlined there. I'll hit them real quick again, just in case people are skimming the transcript of this video. So we've got customer service. You mentioned the Vodafone partnership and how they're using AI in the call center. Operations, KT is a great example because they're using agentic AI generative AI in their operations and empowering their employees to almost, like you said, manage a team of AI agents. So it makes them more effective, increases their reach, and increases customer satisfaction on the back end. In the network, of course, all telcos are driving toward an autonomous network, or at least as close as they can get to an autonomous network. And their primary concern, of course, reducing downtime between the time something happens in the network or is about to happen to the time it's resolved, so that there's as few interruptions as possible. And then on the B2B sales side, growing beyond connectivity, using having telcos kind of become the trusted advisor for businesses that are like in NTT's example, selling AI-enabled security to SMEs. Helping become, like you said, an agent marketplace almost, to give them that example, because it makes sense too, because telcos are experiencing these customer needs by the hundreds. It's not just a one-off example each time. So they have certain patterns that they can tap into and make things more efficient there.
I mean, that's been really the DNA of telcos, to be very much rooted in every community and country. So they are the place where, for example, especially small businesses, they are the place they go to, get a service and be advised, and that pervasiveness of a telco is really important now in this time of transition, where many SMBs don't know how to embrace AI. They hear about it, they maybe tested it on their phone, but they don't know how to make it work for them to become, SMBs of the future, right? SMB future ready. And so I think that's a great opportunity, and an opportunity that telcos can embrace to grow and to find new sources of growth and of opportunity.
That's great. I guess the last and most important question as we're wrapping up is where to start. So for telcos that want to learn more, or they want to take the next step in their transformation journey, what's a good place for them to find additional resources to kind of get them on the path?
Well, there is on our website, Microsoft.com/telco, there is a set of customer stories and industry solutions, and that's a good place to start. There is also a white paper that is called Discover How Agentic AI is Transforming Telco Operations. And you can download it from the website, and then, you can contact your, account executive to have a deeper conversation, or just reach me on LinkedIn.
Sounds great. Okay. Well, Silvia Candiani, thank you so much for taking the time to go through this with us. And also, if you're listening to this on a podcast or in your video app, check the show notes so you can find some of those links you referred to, and we can help you out there. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Have a great day.